Welcome to Little Owl Literacy. Today we're going to talk about a very taboo subject, writing in books. One of the things that I learned in graduate school was something so simple that it kind of blew my mind. It's the idea of deconstructing the notion that a book is a sacred object. I know if you are a huge avid reader like I am, that might strike you as sacrilegious. But again, therein lies the whole interesting concept that a book is not necessarily a sacred thing that you should just carefully open, read, and put aside, which a lot of us do. My brother cracks me up so much because he prizes his books so much that he will only open them a little bit to read so that he doesn't make any folds in the spine. So if I ever borrowed his books, he would get mad at me if I actually opened them all the way. Now that's a little extreme, I know, but I'm talking about something that you might find even more extreme: allowing your kids to write in books. I know, crazy, taboo. This is something, though, that a lot of researchers have discovered really helps children to process things. To write notes in the margins is a really helpful thing, especially for older students or older children. One of my favorite podcasts is Harry Potter and the Sacred Text, not surprisingly, because they talk about literacy practices in a way that is just above and beyond anything I've ever learned. And I believe so wholeheartedly in their very grounded, rooted physical and spiritual process of reading a book. And they're always talking about the notes that they take in the margins, and they swap books sometimes, and they'll read each other's notes and talk about why they picked out a certain thing. And this is a really cool practice, especially for kids in middle and high school. They are going to need to write in their books in college. I did. That was something I had to learn to do. It's really important, and it helps you connect with the text in the moment and to start asking questions. It also helps you understand the text even better. You're starting to question the author. You're literally starting to have a dialogue with the author in a way as you write those notes. And that helps you continue to process information, to make predictions, to comprehend what you've just read, to remember what you've just read. And then there's another aspect of it that when you go back and reread a book, you can go and look at the thoughts that you had before and re-engage on a whole new level. So it becomes this multi-layered cognitive exercise. It's really cool. And this is not just for textbooks. And obviously that's not something that you might be able to do in a public school book or something that has to be returned. Obviously not in a library book, but in your own books. If you buy your own textbooks, I highly recommend doing this. But this is also a great practice for fiction books too. So even if it is like a Harry Potter novel or some other kind of book, it's okay to write in the margins. So I really recommend that you teach your kids a different way to engage with their books. There may be some that are collector's editions or hardbacks that you really want to treasure and keep pristine. And then there are other ones like, an inexpensive paperback that you can highlight and write in the margins and teach them to do that. Don't teach them that books are so sacred that they should never be marked in. It really helps them. It actually helps them to be able to highlight and take notes in margins. So I really encourage you to help your children develop that practice in reading.